Hello and welcome to my channel. Firstly, thank you for joining me. I'm Elle and I post fitness and food content over here and on Instagram at LFitnessPT. I will link it somewhere here for you. So I thought I'm going to do today more of a vlog style video because I've never actually done one before, but it's the kind of content which I watch and which I enjoy the most. So I thought, why not? I'm at a new gym today, so I thought it'd be fun to try it out. I'm going to do more of a voiceover for the workout just because I don't know how loud it is in there or how many people. But it's 10:30, I've just finished with my clients. I've had porridge and a coffee before I came about an hour and a half ago, so we're all fueled and ready to go. So I hope you enjoy and let's get into it. So we are starting out today's session with some dynamic stretching to prime ourselves for the movements and make sure we are nice and loose and ready to go. So make sure you are not skipping out on your dynamic stretching because it will massively help with your mobility and making sure that you are ready for the lift. So make sure you're doing dynamic stretches and then do warm-up sets before your actual working sets on your lifts, especially at the start of your session. It's going to be super helpful to get the blood flowing and to make sure that you are feeling the movements and feeling the actual weights itself. So definitely do not skip out on your dynamic stretches. So today's workout we started out on pendulum squats, and if you've got access to one of these in your gym then definitely take advantage of it because it's going to be really good for your quad growth. Yes, it burns a lot, but it's so good and you'll thank yourself after you finish your set. So with this you want to make sure that your back is pressed firmly against that pad. Don't let your lower back round off the pad because that's going to potentially cause injury. So what you want to instead focus on is pushing your knees forward over your toes to really increase the bend in the knee and making sure you are pushing heavy on this. You can probably go heavier than you think. Really push your reps on here. Make sure that you are going close to failure if you want to get the most growth out of it. And then sadistically we moved over to a leg extension superset. So first up was the leg extension. And with these you want to make sure that you are really controlling the reps. Don't use a lot of momentum to get the weight up. Make sure that you're pausing at that top position where the quads are truly shortened. And then you want to make sure you are taking your time to bring the weight down. Don't fly it down. So once you've done 8 to 12 reps of these, making sure to pull yourself into the seat again, keeping your bum firmly on that seat. We then want to move over to the leg press machine, and for this we're going to do a low foot placement on this to really target the quads. So again, as you can see here, my feet are fairly narrow and they are at the bottom of the platform, and with this again you want to control the weight. Come down nice and slowly as far as you can go. You don't have to go all the way down, but just go as far as you can to try and increase that knee flexion. So reduce the gap between your hamstrings and your calves and really push through here. It's going to get hard because you have just done the leg extension, but it is a really good superset because you're going from the short into the length position of your quads, so it's going to be really good. It's really going to burn, but again, push through. Keeping that back against the pad. This common theme here when you're training your legs is to keep that back pressed firmly against the pad to make sure you're not getting any rounding because that's going to potentially cause injury for the lower back. Now after we did some quads we went over to glutes because obviously glutes are always going to be my workouts. So what we did here was a cable kickback, and how I like to set this up is to set the cable pulley at about just below knee height to get a little bit more range, and you find the movement is a lot smoother on this for me personally and for a lot of my clients. So you want to make sure the movement is coming just from your legs. You don't want to be hinging up at the top with your torso. You want to make sure the movement is nice and controlled and coming from the legs, and just kick back for as far as your active range. You don't need to kick way back because that's going to cause lower back to get involved. Moving over to upper body, I did single arm cable lateral raises, which are one of my favourites, and with this one what you want to focus on is, I like to use a cuff so it takes the grip out of it, but focus on pulling your arm away from the cable machine as opposed to up. You you want to have your arms slightly in front of your torso, so not directly out to the side, and that's really going to better align the muscle fibers for your medial delt, so you're going to get a really nice burn and a pump on your sides of your shoulders. Again, control the weight here, don't swing it around. You'll probably find that it's going to be hard to increase the weights on here. Next up we have shoulder press. So again, this one I've used a machine shoulder press to isolate the shoulders. Again, same as everything else, think about really controlling your tempo, keeping your elbows in front of your torso to help protect that shoulder and remove any discomfort. And again, you really want to be pushing in here, and because you're on a machine you can push yourself more than you think. You can challenge yourself and pick a weight which is challenging. Your last rep should be a little bit slower than your first reps. That's a good gauge to see you're training close to failure. Next up we have bicep curls to finish, and make sure you pick two weights that are at the same, unlike me here which I picked two different weights. But then what you want to do is just, again, avoid swinging, keep your core nice and tight, and the movement is coming from your arms. So slow on the way down, fully extend at the bottom, and then curl it back up.